Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Strategy Game Podcast. I'm your host, Lauren Shippey, and today we are talking about what can and should we do to adapt to scale right now. So, today we're going to talk about this is a bonus episode. We're going to talk about what we should be doing to adapt right now because we're still in an interesting time, and we're coming off of a difficult season, and some of us are still in a more difficult season with our businesses. And so I wanted to lay out three things that you can do in order to focus on scaling as we enter into the fall. So the first is to understand the level playing field. This means really connecting faster with your customers, because for the first time in a long time, the playing field is more level than it was previously. And customers' needs are level because people are coming off of a season where they just really focused on essentials, and they're just in a state of mind where they've kind of eliminated those things for a time period. And so for the first time in a long time, there's just a great ability to be able to meet their needs or attract their attention where they may not have been willing before, because they're kind of reevaluating everything and they're re-entering into things. And so with all of the deconstruction that's going on in people's minds, there's a chance to rebuild your businesses and speak to them in a way that maybe wouldn't appeal to them before. So I want to open up just talking about that, a greater picture vision, that I think there's opportunity here. So we can really view this as an opportunity to step into their shoes and connect and truly understand our customers and non-customers. So non-customers, if you guys listen to the Blue Ocean Strategy episode, are the customers that have not yet entered into our sphere, and we want to capture them, right? So there's going to be certain levels of non-customers. And so who is that non-customer that you haven't yet captured? And thinking through their pains and their problems, and then presenting quicker solutions. So our messaging should really reflect this. So how can we connect with our customers faster? And how can we understand their problems and their pains faster? And how does our messaging reflect that? So that would really be the first thing. And I want you to take a minute and think about that, kind of break that down. Tangibly, this might look like your response time, or it might look like sending personalized communications to customers that are in your nearest circle. Maybe you decide to step away from trying to attract the wide net for a season, and you focus on more of the more narrow net and the people that are closest to you and that are ready to engage, but maybe don't quite know how or when or where. And maybe you can step in this season and give them a guide to be able to connect with you. Because I think often there are people that are waiting to connect with you, but they're just not sure how. And if you give them a map to be able to do that, then they're ready. So let's move on to number two. Number two is adapting our offerings. And so this is really the way that we deliver value today. And that's going to look different from how we'll deliver it. So we need to first understand our customer's pain. So a set of prescribed solutions that solve our customer's pain is what we want to offer, right? So people are already aware of what's wrong, and they want to solve problems faster. So through this whole COVID season, they've had time to reflect, and things that have been highlighted to them, they're ready to move forward, and they want to solve it quickly, right? Or they want to reevaluate. They've already had the time to think through and reevaluate things, and they're ready for the solutions. So how well do you understand your customer's pain? I would just pause on that for a minute, because that is really the key to developing an effective strategy. So think about the greatest pain point of your customer right now. What is it? And then think about the underlying need that goes with that pain. I'm pausing on purpose so that you can think about this. And so, what immediate value can you provide that speaks to that deeper need, and that also speaks to the pain that they're experiencing? Now, maybe it's not pain in your case, but what problem do you solve for them? And how can you solve that problem more quickly or more simply? Do you provide a more effective solution? Or do you provide something faster or better, right? How can you deliver value faster? Does that mean that you maybe have a survey on your website? Does that mean they can get a downloadable PDF immediately for the exchange of the email? Does that mean you have chat on your site that you can, or a number to text with questions that you can engage with them? Can they schedule a coaching call right on your site and book their time easily? What are things that they attend, like a live workshop, or can they watch one on your site? This is delivering value fast, right? And so the thing that you want to do to adapt your offerings during the season is really understand that customer's pain and then have a set of prescribed solutions that meet that pain. So the next thing you're going to do is go through your small, medium, and large size offerings. So what kind of offerings do you have and do they fit your customer's pain? So we might have a one size fits all offering, but that might not be working for all of our customers and the non-customers that you want to attract. So I want to challenge you to think through how you can move customers through a process, right? Because think about us, we're people. So we're talking to other people. And when we review it in that light and we step into those shoes, we think about how we would want to receive the service, right? And how we would want to move through a process. So, like with Storywork, if you don't know me yet, you might listen to a lot of podcasts or download the free PDFs or read the weekly strategy game emails or the blog post to get to know me and how I work and how we work and our mindsets, to see if you agree, if you trust them, if you think this will help you grow your business or nonprofit, all of those things, right? And so that would be um, the start of the relationship there, the customer nurturing process. And then you might move into something where you consider the strategy masterclass, right? So that's under $100 and you can get the value there and you can walk yourself through the strategy process, right? The DIY. So that might be the small size offering. The medium size offering might be joining one of our masterminds where every month you have the accountability, you get customized feedback, and you're in a group, right, setting. And then the large size offering for me might be consulting for an organization. So that would mean doing a detail on their strategy to grow and scale and how they might implement that, right? So you need to make sure that you have those small, medium, and large size offerings that will coincide with a funnel to nurture customers through a journey, if that makes sense. So this is called templating, and it's really important that you look at adapting your offerings. And then the third and final thing we're looking at here is adapting your messaging. So your messaging needs to reflect that. So once you understand your customer and the level playing field, and then you adapt your offerings, then it's so much easier to adapt your messaging, and your messaging is going to be so much more effective because you've taken the time to understand what they want and need and adapt your offerings. So it may not even be your messaging that needs help, it might be your strategy, and part of your strategy is your offerings. So when you're looking at adapting your messaging, you're going to look at on-demand communication. So clear expectations, help them visualize what your experience or process or service will be like. Make yourself more available and on demand for them, right? Speak to objections, write down some of their objections on a piece of paper and journal through them and speak to those in your messaging. So I guarantee you, like if you just wrote down like 3 to 5 of their objections and then wrote under that how you meet that or what particular offering would solve that, then you could start to speak to that in your messaging and in your marketing and in any videos that you do or podcasts. Because I think that when we directly dispute those objections, then we really take away their reason to not engage with us. So highlight the opportunities for value, emphasize the value, right? Because we want to make sure that we're giving them really the bullet points on our product or service offering. And then position yourself as a tool to survival. Why are you essential? And how are you essential? So do the legwork of thinking for and with your customers, right? To find out why it's essential for them and adapt your messaging accordingly. This is the hardest part because a lot of us, and myself included, sometimes don't want to sit down to do this focus work. We just can't. We would rather tackle the easier things on our list because this stuff is hard. And it's not even that it's necessarily hard. It's just that it requires us to sit down and quiet ourselves and focus with just a piece of paper in front of us. But you will do the most powerful work if you take time to do this. I promise you. So let's recap here on the 3 things that we can and should do to adapt to scale our businesses right now, moving into the fall of 2020. Number 1, understand the level playing field. So understand that this is an opportunity to connect with your customers' pains and solve them faster. They've had a lot of time to reflect in the season. They know what they want. They just need a map. They just need to be guided through a process. How do you do that? Number 2, adapt your offerings. So the way we deliver value today, right? Show them how you deliver value and show them your small, medium, and large offerings. Give them options that appeal to what they are looking for. And number 3, adapt your messaging. On-demand communication, highlight your opportunities for value and speak to objections and position yourself as a tool for survival. Why and how are you essential in their lives? And if you can do this clearly, you will be able to start scaling right now in the season. As always, thanks for tuning in. And if you're looking for more, make sure that you head to www.storywork.co. And if you're interested in checking out the Strategy Masterclass, we'll put the link in the show notes for you.